All right. Well, welcome to my deli. Wigmore Deli.
I love it. Okay, this is literally such a treat. Gin Wigmore, hello.
Hello.
Okay, firstly, we are in the most beautiful setting right now, which is in fact your deli.
Yes.
Wigmore Deli.
Mm-hmm. Wigmore Deli. Brand new.
The process of creating this beautiful space and how it's incorporated with your studio, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's a compound. It's what I kind of wanted to have. And it sort of just happened. I mean, that's generally how life goes for me a little bit. It happens and it's based on whether I say yes or no. Most of the times I'll say yes. I'm very impulsive. It's also how I ended up having a hotel as well in Palm Springs. Like, things just present themselves and I say yes. And so I was literally walking. I just moved back to New Zealand. I was walking down the street going, man, I really want to like have a business here, like build something, whether it be a bar or I don't know, something. Not sure yet what, but I knew who I wanted to do it with. I ended up walking past this building and saw a big for sale sign, and I called up the agent and I said, can I see it this afternoon? And he said, yeah, sure, let's go. And I saw it, walked through. I said, I'll buy it. What do you want for it? I'll do it tonight. And then we did it in 10 days, closed in 10 days. And then I just thought, okay, now what am I going to put in here? So
you saw that you didn't even have a vision for what you wanted to go in here. You just knew you wanted something and that this was the place.
Yeah, this is the place.
Okay, so then you said yes.
So I said yes. 10 days later, I get the keys to this place, and this part was vacant. And so then I was like, okay, I hit up Aiden. So I was like, what should we do? Should we do a wine bar? I feel like we could do a wine bar, something that's not so sort of man-centric, because there's a lot of that going on and things like. We were like somewhere where you can just kind of spend your lazy afternoons having cheese boards and wine and rosé and feel like you're in the south of France. Like, let's do something like that. And then there's a lot of rules in New Zealand, which I'm not really used to, being out in the States for so long, where it's kind of Wild West. And so then I was like, okay, that's going to be a bit of a challenge out the gate. So why don't we do something like a deli? And we can have pantry items. And I talked to the locals around. And I was like, what are we missing here? And they said, we need like a kind of greengrocer, like a deli that you can just get staples, nice things from Europe maybe, and some fresh made stuff. I was like, okay, cool. So then I said to Aiden, should we do a deli? He's like, sure, let's do a deli.
This is so cool, because I feel like some places you go in streets or food hubs or whatever,
yep,
and they have a lot of dust.
The same. Yep, exactly.
Yep. It's really making me want to go to one over the other.
Yes.
I want this coffee shop over
yes.
this shop. It's the fact that you actually
ask the area.
And in a hub, that's where a lot of outside of Auckland come. Like, rugby, not just they come for everything. It's that street and the place that you go in Kingsland for it.
Yep.
That's so smart.
Yep. It's cool. And it's also knowing where you're at. Like, I mean, I realize I'm very humble in my approach to things, where I'm like, I haven't lived here in so long and I'm new to the neighborhood. What do people need? And looking at the avenues of Kingsland and going, okay, there's so many families live on these avenues, and what are mums notoriously out of? And it's like, we want an afternoon snack for our kids that's healthy and fresh, or we want to make a cheese board to have our friends over and have a glass of wine. So all those things, what would you put on that plate? And that's sort of what I've gotten stuck here, is everything that would serve those two needs. And like an onion or like a garlic or something like that you might just run out of, or a loaf of bread or coffee in the morning.
Was it hard, like, has it been hard to get things in from other countries? Because not all of these are things that we necessarily have.
Not necessarily. You've got some staples like your classic, your cheddars. We do that because the flower shop girls, they love cheddars, and they go through so many crisis moments that they want cheddars. So we just have cheddars in here for them.
Again, came for the people.
Came for the people, for the community. We've got, we do have some odd little things, but no, that's the fun part, is finding sourcing and figuring out where to get things and what's different. And that's the exciting part of it, is it's forever changing. And that was the whole approach as well, is to keep things creative and interesting and fresh. And our motto on our shirts is fresh as fuck. And we've got all of that. So we've rotated our menu. Even in 3 weeks of being open, we've already changed up our sandwiches, added 2 new things. I make homemade Afghans, which one person came in and bought all of them. And one go, he had one bite, and he said, I'll take the whole lot. So, man, I'm trying to take it to the kitchen. I mean, my baking's not bad. It's not bad. So
Apparently.
yeah, it was cool.
It's honestly amazing, and it's cool to find, like, obviously you are a creative person, you've always been a creative person.
Yep.
So to find your other avenues that fill that
Yes.
alongside of your musical career
Yep.
is amazing.
Yep.
And to do it in a way that, you know, as you said, is for the people. It's also giving back to the community, but it's also filling a void in your life that you now get to experience a new challenge.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I mean, that's where the fun is for me, is the vision and the challenge of getting open. And then after that, I leave it to, you know, now Aiden runs it. And that part, that creation part is where I'm most interested. And that's much like making the record, you know.
Well, this is what I want to know. Where did you find all these things?
Well, this is all my art because I just pulled it from my house upstairs and from the studio and things like that. This is all stuff that I've dragged around with me for like 20 years. When I was in Los Angeles, we moved around, I think it was 12 times in 11 years. So we were moving every 6 months to a year, moving, renovating. I was renovating houses, moving, doing things like that. So I place not much importance on permanence,
which is a nice, I guess, position to be in the sense of, like, now you've kind of, as you said, kind of off camera before, you feel rooted now.
I do. I feel rooted, and that's solely because of my kids. I realize that as much as I am a gypsy spirit, I can't put that on my kids. And my oldest, Pascal, he's a very grounded person and he wants roots. And so this is for him. All of this is for my kids, but this is their roots. And I'm happy to leave on the next jet plane, but this is for them. Keep their roots.
Just hearing you say that it is very special, and it just shows, like, the life and the journey that you've taken, which we've learned in your music, which is why I think we should go through to the studio and start talking about your music.
Yes, let's do that.
Because this is half the reason why we're here. I have seen on your Instagram for the last couple of months and couple of weeks, you've been posting throwback moments for your music.
Mm-hmm.
Is it such like a humbling and lovely feeling going down memory lane and looking at all of those moments?
Yeah, it is. It shows me that I've had time doing this, which is kind of a strange feeling. But it's funny what some of those things that we've released, I never wanted to release them when I was younger. Like some of those things like that, there was a photo shoot that I did in a red dress and stuff like that I posted recently. And I didn't want to release that at the time when I think it was, 5-6 years ago or something. And I was so worried about releasing that stuff. And now I'm like, oh my God, why do I have so many issues about releasing that? Even that Kill of the Night video, I never released that back then.
Why is that? Like, do you know? Have you figured out what that is?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm very hard on myself just to begin with. But I didn't come into my power in my self-confidence. I think I've always been confident, but I don't think I fully understood who I was to be okay with judgment the way that I am now. You know, like when you get older, you sort of, I don't know if it's a lack of caring so much what other people think, but it's also just you come into your stride. You've got so much more lived experience under your belt that you're not so hung up on sort of vanity and things like that I was concerned about in my 20s a little more.
It's such an interesting, because I feel like I'm going through that kind of now.
Yeah.
Where like the things that used to mean everything to me, or I used to care so much about, I've kind of gone, but so at one stage wanted to get married.
Yes.
So at one stage wanted to fall in love and all this stuff.
Yep.
And it's like, and those things happened and I still lived.
Yes.
And so I think it's like, I'm kind of realizing, like, if you put all of your eggs in one basket, or all of your pressures on yourself for one particular thing, or the way that you look, or the way that you feel, it takes away what you actually care about a little bit.
Yeah, and it actually like limits your world. You know, you don't get to be as bold as you could have been, and you don't get to be as brave as you could have been, and you miss out on things. Like I missed out on having a music video out at the time because I was so worried about it being not quite right. And you got to remind yourself, like, music, art in particular is just a timestamp of life, of where you're at, you know, and it's important to get it out at that time. So that's what I would totally tell my younger self. But I think you need to also live that to come into your stride and comfortably go. So it's been kind of a cathartic exercise, actually. It's done more for my mental health, I think, releasing some of that stuff, this old throwback stuff. Even though it seems sort of whimsical, it's like it actually is doing me great service, releasing some of that hidden stuff, you know.
Yeah, and especially ahead of, you know, new music coming out, and there's like this new era of Gin, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
But it is cool as well. Like, it makes us who've grown up with you kind of go down memory lane a little bit.
Yep.
Jimmy Fallon and all these things. And
yeah.
Holy heck.
Yeah. So many things.
This time as well. Like, I don't even know if I would have known who Jimmy Fallon was.
Yeah.
But now he's the guy.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Yep, totally. I mean, all those shows, yeah, like we did so many of those shows back then. And that's the thing, you sort of forget. It feels like a lifetime ago sometimes, but it all happened. And it is cool to dip back into those memories, you know, and kind of go, wow, those were really cool times. They really did something.
So Country Diamond,
yes. I mean, I think Country Diamond, I needed to start that. It opens up the album Country Diamond, and this album has been a full-on exercise in experienced life. It's so rounded. It's a very polar sort of album too. It's got this called Beautiful Mess, so it's got a beautiful side and a messy side, and that's very much my life always, particularly the last 5 years. And I really wanted to open it with a country leaning song because I was listening to so much country at the time. I mean, I was spending a lot of time in Nashville. I was listening to a lot of Tammy Wynette, Loretta Lynn, Mel Haggard, really, really like storytelling that, even Dolly's stuff, like that, those brave women. I mean, talking about divorce and how her dude's coming home drinking and loving on his mom, all that kind of stuff. It was so brave for the time, and it really had a beginning, middle, and end in those songs. And I wanted to start the album out like that, like sort of give everyone an understanding of what this is. It's going to be a story for a start. It's got a beginning, it's got a middle, and it's got an end. And it starts out daydreaming, and that's sort of what Country Diamond is about. It's having this realization that my marriage was over, and going, oh my God, I wonder if I'd chosen a different path, would it have ended up in a divorce? Would I have been happier? Would I have been more unhappy than I am now? And it was that initial like seed of doubt that we all hope never happens in a marriage, but unfortunately it did for me, and that's kind of where Country Diamond opens it up, and it just slightly lifts open the can on that whole can of worms that is the undoing of a marriage. And that's sort of the through line of this album.
It's also a really lovely play on like country being, it is storytelling as well, and it has a beginning and middle of the end.
Yeah,
majority of the songs.
Yes,
but also the Country Diamond aspect of like the Wild West being the country, and then the diamond, like that. When you said about opening up the can of worms, what that is, it made me think opening up the Wild West of this diamond potentially being like the diamond being
totally.
No, I don't know why.
That's cool.
I mean, that's kind of like when you were describing it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's kind of where my mind took me.
Yeah.
Just the term Country Diamond of being like the Wild West of what a marriage could be, or what a marriage isn't, what a marriage might change to be, and how it is the Wild West, and this diamond, it's not happening.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's cool. That totally. I mean, that wasn't what I was thinking with it, but I love that's why it's so great releasing music, is that you get to take on your own idea. I mean, we all remember like English literature or whatever we were doing at high school, right? When you had to like analyze what the poet might have been saying. And oftentimes it was nothing to do with what they were writing it about. But that's the coolest thing about art, is that you take it on board into your life and you digest it and let it seep through your body and experiences, and then you make sense of it in your own way. And I think that's cool. And I think a title like Country Diamond and the lyrics in this song can allow people to have it be filtered through their own life and it's universal and it's widespread in terms of how it could be interpreted.
And so this is obviously the start of the whole album to come, which is a massive story that has a start, middle, and an end.
Yep.
Do we mix genres throughout?
Yes, very much so.
Very much so.
Very much so. Like very polar. And it's, I mean, you spend time in country the beautiful side of this record, and you're out in the deep desert. You're peeling back the layers. You're sitting there on the range with your guitar and a bottle of tequila and smoking cigarettes and getting to the heart of it. And then you get to the mess and it's a huge departure. It's like you've burnt it all down and it's uncomfortable. It's confrontational. It's rock and roll. It's guttural. It's loud. It's aggressive. And it ends with a call to action for women to be brave, and those feelings and that intuitive feeling when you know shit's not good, and not just waiting for things to get better. Sometimes you just need to call it, and sometimes you just need to go, that was a good run. Let's not poison the rest of our lives with settling for mediocrity.
Just talking to you, it's honestly, I could listen to you all day. So it's just, I know you say your life is a beautiful mess, but your brain doesn't seem to be that way.
Oh.
And it's just the way that you articulate yourself and the way that you use your words, obviously being a songwriter and, putting the words together to make a beautiful song. But just listening to you, I don't know if you always felt like you've been that way. Do you feel like you are that way?
I think that life helps, form these sentences and phrases and paragraphs that seem to poetically align with how I feel. But I think it's experience, it's life, and it's been vulnerable in those situations. I mean, you can shy away from it or you can leap right in. And when you do leap right in, it means that you're going to have massive highs and massive lows. And that's my life. It's massive highs and massive lows. And the blessing from that is you do get beautiful words to pull from to describe those highs and lows. But it's pretty taxing.
I can imagine. And do you feel like you always have to be on in a sense? Or are you just like, I'm a human and I am what I am?
I think there is no off unless I'm sleeping, then I'm off. I think I'm always on, and I think on is just being open, available, and vulnerable to life.
Oh my God. Why do I just feel like I could just get so deep and deep and deep? I just love a deep chat.
I love a deep chat. I do. Yeah.
So it's great. We created the album. We've got the album. We've got the song.
Yep.
Was it in here?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't in here. I wish it was in here.
Was anything done in here?
Well, we first played the song as a band in here. We first played Country Diamond, and the first time in here. When it was all created. So yeah, and first set we've done incorporating the new record was done in this room with my band. We were all out here. So that was really cool. And it took many, many turns. Like the record was actually going to be an EP because I was doing it with a friend, and ended up that he actually he ended up falling in love with me. We were 95% done with the record, and he was married and it blew up his whole life. And we were actually in Nashville, so a little country town for that. And so that ended really, really badly. And he left his wife and wanted to run away together. And I was married still. And so I couldn't touch any of those songs. And I left there. So there's a whole lost record out there as well. And Country Diamond was actually one of those songs on that record I didn't touch. And I didn't touch any of those songs for 2 years. And it was not until, so there's a whole backstory around this record.
So how did you get Country Diamond?
So I got Country Diamond because I went off the deep end a little bit after that, to be honest. And I ended up managing a hotel in Santa Monica and went completely away from music. I didn't feel safe in music anymore, especially after he was one of my best friends too. So it was really rough. And it was actually my guitarist, Dave Goodison, who's been my homie for like 20 years, my guitarist. And he called me up and he said, Jen, you gotta you got to do music, man. You really can't just let this slip away. And why don't we go make a record in the desert? I'll be with you. Your drummer will be with you. Just the three of us. We'll go up for 7 days and we'll make an EP in 7 days. And the goal was to try and touch some of those songs again. And Country Diamond was one of them. And so we re-recorded it from scratch the way that I felt like I could hear it again and not have this sort of tainted relationship with it. And so that's how that came back to life. But that was going to be a song that was never going to see the light of day.
Shit, that took a turn.
Yeah, so there's lots of turns. There's so, honestly, Georgia, there's so many turns in my life. This is what I mean by if you live open and vulnerable, you invite the devil as well. You know, like you invite all of it. And you got to be okay with all of it. But it does mean that your life will be rich and full and exhausting and you will die tired. But that's my goal.
That's Gin Wigmore's goal. That's we're working for.
Be ready for that rest.
You took coffee?
No, not at death. I'm not. Well, yeah, every day. Yes. Okay,
oh
yeah.
Yes. With coffee.
We're doing it with coffee. Yeah.
Tequila.
Yes. Yes.
So okay, now I just do you have any others that were on that album that are on this beautifulness?
We have what else was going to be on there?
And did a lot you kind of say I actually don't want those anymore?
Yep. There's a lot of those. I actually kept a couple in the mess side of it. I kept Stuck Inside a Dream. Is a song on the album, and that's cool. That's a really heavy song, and it's really sort of like you've taken a acid trip or something. It's sort of it's a departure from, it's living in that nightmare of divorce, I guess. Like I'm living in that, and that I'm stuck inside a dream, but my dreams are nightmares at that point. They're not nice dreams as we know it. And that song is just heavy and dark, and that stayed because I felt like that was relevant for the mess side of the album. Strange Love is also on that, and you'll listen to it. Like this album, it really is. I heard Lily Allen's album recently, and it's really cool.
So good,
really cool, and I love how she doesn't hold back, and I love that shit. I think that's so necessary for artists who've been so silenced and in fear of dislike or loss of numbers or followers or any of this bullshit. And I think she's so brave in how she told that story, and who knows what was true, false, or otherwise, but that was her experience, and she told it, how she felt it and experienced it. And that's true fucking artistry, I think.
Do you know what's interesting about this is that Lily Allen, Zara Larsson, I don't know if you're that familiar with her. There's a bunch of artists that of that kind of era that stopped after a while. We just didn't hear much, or they just didn't get played much, or they just weren't. And then they got to a point like Lily Allen where they just thought, and I feel like it's also because you can now be accessible everywhere. It's not necessarily so much on the demand of the record label in that regard. I think. Yep. That they are just saying whatever.
Yep. And I think there's nothing left to lose. Like you know, if you've just lost your husband to sounds like a sex addiction with loads of other women, what have you got to lose? Like, fuck it. You know what I mean? And that's where music is always one of the greatest tools. And if we use it like that as an expression of art and our feelings, our true feelings, that is when we get real art. And you look at any great painter, you look at any great artist, poet, songwriter, anything, the more real they are with what their experience was, the better art. I mean, art is subjective, but it touches on a deeper level.
100%.
It stays with you. Dolly Parton's got some cool stuff too. I know we kind of think this glamorized thing of Dolly, but she started out really like same kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know.
And also she spoke about that so early on.
Yeah, and she had a messy start too. You know, she had a messy start with, you know, it's tough. Like it's still tough for women in music, but back then, my God, it was just not, we didn't have it like we have it now, you know. So it's brave.
We're wanting to push more and more females.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
I know, like, it's just seeing all of the names of people that we care about. And especially like in the music industry, when I was saying to people today, I was like, oh, I'm interviewing Gin Wigmore today. They're like, holy shit, she's got a new song coming out. I'm like,
Oh, cool. That's wicked. Yay.
Cool, because you're a New Zealand name. Like we love your voice. We love the stories that you tell, and that is why we're so excited for this single to be here. We're so excited for your album.
Thank you.
And it's gonna be epic. And we're gonna be seeing you on some stages.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. I can't wait to play again. I'm excited.